Usually for an armor, you will always take several weeks or months due to like, I don't know, materials, dust, cleaning, painting. Esport isn't just gaming and tournaments. It's entering an amazing world. It's traveling with your creativity. During esports, you will see cosplayers, because it helps people to feel connected to the gaming world in a way just the tournament can't.
Fatality. Hold on now. He's a friend.
This is Lana from Cosplay, and today we're going to talk about how to turn simple foam into an amazing Star Wars helmet. The material. I think the best about the cosplay community is that everybody is so passionate, everybody is so helpful. I mean, like most of us, we were nerdy, we were maybe bullied in school, we were lonely when we were young, and then when you suddenly enter the cosplay community, you suddenly notice that you're not alone.
Look at me, look at me. Aw, this looks so good.
Cosplay is a very big world.
You meet so many people who share your same passions.
There is a lot that goes into being a cosplayer, and I think if anyone were to just see it for themselves, they'd realize just how amazing it is.
It's definitely brought me into a better place. Like I said, I have friends that support me no matter what I do. It can be very uplifting and encouraging. Okay.
So in cosplay, I get to express my creativity and be very free in what I decide to wear.
Every time I'm at family gatherings, oh, I saw you were doing this costume, you looked really good, and it's kind of just helped me become a happier person. There we go.
Cosplaying is like being part of a big family.
And just like a family, sometimes they bicker, sometimes there's inner drama, but in the end, it's love. Spin, as you do a little spin. Spin.
It's about expressing your creativity.
So I sent you the sketch, the rough sketch. All right. So what do you think?
So good. I love it.
Cosplay, the community itself is it's a bit indefinable, to be honest. It's truly grasped when you're there experiencing it, and then even then you can't really put it into words.
It's a way to bond with people who have the same interests.
I could never imagine finding love through cosplaying because it's such a big community, and finding someone close to you is a really difficult task. Like, let's say I find some person right next to me who's cosplaying a certain character. I would never imagine, hey, I'm gonna be with this person. So it is really difficult, and I would never imagine that through my passion, my hobby, I would find someone that I love. The most fascinating thing about the gaming world, or gaming in general, is that you can get into a new world that you're not familiar with.
I'm so glad you're finally here. I'm just glad to be on solid ground, to be honest. Long flight.
You can be your character and experience something that you can't experience in real life. Be something you want to be, but you can't because we are limited in the real world. This passion will most likely never stop, and that's why it's important for me that my life partner knows about it and supports me, because he's a cosplayer as well, so it's actually perfect, and sharing that passion is even better, but it is really important for me since it's part of my life since childhood.
Thank you, baby. Sarah and I met actually on Instagram. We were cosplaying the same characters from the same game. She was Zaya and I was Rakan. I did a test of my wig and makeup and posted it. And she actually liked it, and that made me wow, this Zaya cosplayer that I really like, who's really great at it, liked my picture. And so obviously I was like, I gotta message her. I messaged her, and then we just started talking, started playing games together, started playing League, started playing World of Warcraft, and then all of a sudden we just couldn't stop spending time together to the point where it became love. And 2 years later, here we are.
Meeting on social media is not strange today, since it's really difficult to find a person in your daily life that likes the same things as you do. Look at that. Look at that cake.
Oh.
See the A foam and everything?
Everything's online now. Everything. And so people, obviously, are online too. And so just connecting through that is now way easier than just, going up to a person and just saying, hey, what's up? What do you like?
See, that's different layers of the very small ones.
I remember you working on this on Skype.
Yeah.
But seeing, I didn't expect it to be this big, but dang,
you did
some work on this. My dad got me introduced to comics, video games, everything. And from that, I really liked certain characters. Like, I wanted to be a Jedi. I wanted to be Indiana Jones. All these characters that I really looked up to. And I'm like, I want to be like that.
That's actually really cute.
Thank you. Ooh. This is actually my third time seeing Sarah. She visited me first for a week for my birthday last year. And then I came over for about 3 weeks in October of last year. And so this year is our third time, but we're here for Gamescom. And for our long-distance relationship, it is really difficult, the sense of you can't see each other every day. The gift of being able to see the one you love is not there. So we make it work by spending as much time as possible online together and talking. But it's really worth it in the end. As you do a little spin. So you're walking, you're gonna pose in front of the stage. Yeah. What are you gonna do? What's gonna be your main wow moment?
I don't know. I was thinking since the feet are like this.
Mm-hmm.
So basically go a little bit like this.
And do a battle stance.
Yeah.
I'm here to support her in the competition tomorrow. She was so excited and nervous about this, and it also was perfect that I was coming to be here to support her. But to see her up on stage and also to film it for myself and also for her friends and family, that is why I want to be here.
I feel it is very important for Vincent to be here because I need that support, because it is my first competition ever. And I think without him, I would be so nervous. And even just going up on the stage alone would be really difficult.
There we go, we got it.
My character is Zaya from League of Legends. She is of a Vastine, part human, part animal. And her story is basically that she wants to prevent the humans to destroy her world. And in that journey, she met Rakan, which is her now partner. And he also plays, my boyfriend plays Rakan, so it's actually perfect for my character to be that because we met through that. My biggest fear with Gamescom is not being accepted by the audience, especially with the contest coming up. The comments sometimes can be rude when you don't look a certain way as the character. They can be really disappointing, but I guess it's gonna be fine. But that's like one of my biggest fears, the reaction of the crowd.
This year would be breaking maybe my gun. This would be a really big fear for me because I bought Mercy from Overwatch last year. I wanted to attend the cosplay contest and my right wing broke. So these are my wings from Mercy from last year. Like I said, the right wing was broken. It was in this area, so it couldn't be repaired in that short time because it was only an hour before the competition. And then I went to the guys from Hydra Forge and I said, no, I can't attend the cosplay contest. But for this year I repaired it and the wings also can be moved. So you can open them and close them if there is not enough space for the open wings. I cosplay Ashe from Overwatch. I chose her because it was that moment when she was revealed. She was so badass and looked really cool, so that I said, I need to cosplay her. My cosplay inspiration is Svetlana from Kamui Cosplay. She really does awesome cosplays with electricity and the painting and all the stuff. It really helps that she makes tutorials for that.
So Svetlana King is one of the most known cosplayer in the world.
To make the fire effect even more convincing, I placed a self-made mini smoke machine into the PVC pipe.
She was like a precursor. She's kind of a teacher in cosplay reference.
As you can see, it not only lights up, but it also creates smoke.
Like Svetlana from Kamui Cosplay, some people even manage to become a professional cosplayer and a role model for everyone else.
Well, this is about how to install animated lights just like this here.
The books really helped me for this costume because I bought the Guns and Rifles book, which helped me to make my first weapon made out of foam. And especially the sewing book. It was my first sewing project, so I needed really help in that.
She puts a lot of confidence in people. She really push forward cosplayers, be better cosplayers, or just to enjoy themselves.
So in total, for
some people say Svetlana Kamui is the mother of the cosplay community.
So I really hope you like this video. If you still have any questions, leave me a comment below. Also, let me know which kind of tutorials you would like to see next. And as always, like and subscribe, support my Patreon and my YouTube channel, and hit the notification bell, and see you next time. Bye-bye.
I absolutely adore her. She was one of my first clients ever.
Just seeing how she created all the big armored costumes inspired me to do my own. And she's basically a huge inspiration to all of us when it comes to crafting costumes with armor parts.
never planned to be a professional cosplayer. Actually, I don't really like the word because it's not what I make my money with. I'm an author, so I'm creating books about how to create costumes, how to install electronics, how to do armor, how to build props, how to sew. So I'm an author and I make my money with writing books.
Also, was? Ja, ich hab einen Witz. Komm, ein Pferd in eine Bar.
This was actually never a plan. I mean, I started cosplay just for fun and I always wanted to dress up for fun. But at some point I created so many tutorials that people kept on asking me if I'm willing to create a collection of all my tutorials. So I started actually writing my books and I didn't really expect any success, but it turned out that people actually liked it. And then at some point I was like, hey, okay, then I think I can make my income from that. So it was totally a coincidence, but I never planned it at the first.
Get schon rein. Okay, the Gauss rifle geht.
Yeah, when I was still at school, when I was a child, I had quite a lot of trouble in school because I was bullied. I didn't really felt confident with myself. But when I actually discovered cosplay back in 2003 and I started crafting, I actually noticed that I can create something with my own hands. I can learn some new stuff with by myself, and I don't need to be scared of new skills or materials. And I got very self-confident and made a great experience. So basically, cosplay gave me a huge confidence boost and changed my life forever.
So, Schuhe?
Ja.
Bereit, wir gehen jetzt raus.
And tell us, how did you met Svetlana?
The first time I met Svetlana, it was actually over the internet. Like, I was working for a local convention back then, and I invited random people from the city to come to like the little small shitty convention that I helped organize. And she was one of the people I found, and I wrote her, and then she actually wrote me back and said, "Hi, do you have a girlfriend?" And I'm like, "What? No, who are you?" And then we met up in the city, and it turned out we actually went to the same school. And that's basically the first time I met her, and she hasn't left my side since then. First con we actually visited together. The first time was Animagic in Germany, and she was wearing her first self-made costume.
My very first costume was actually the Great Saiyaman from Dragon Ball Z. I was a huge Dragon Ball fan back then. I didn't have no experience. I basically grabbed the old sewing machine from my grandma and just tried sewing, and it was just such a crazy experience because I have no idea what I was doing and costume was crappy. I mean, I was wearing shiny satin, I was wearing ballerina shoes which were far too tiny for my feet.
She had the time of her life of wearing it. Like, she was goofing around the con, like meeting people, having fun. And it was just really fascinating to see that world together with her.
I had the fear that my costume will break at the middle of the convention and I would be naked at the con. And yeah, but it was still a cool experience.
Alter, habe ich mich gerade doch rausgekickt?
But I still was able to finish the costume, and at the end I was very, very proud of that.
I've never seen a person speaking so passionate and energetic about a thing they like, and it's really like it rubs off on you, like just being in that positive field around her. Like, it's a really good feeling.
I started with cosplay back in 2003 and I always were kind of full-time creating my craft. It took me quite a few years until I got to the point where I could actually say, okay, I become self-employed with cosplay and do this now every single day non-stop. So after I finished my study, I got a a very exciting offer.
So these are some of my last and also my favorite costumes I made in the past. This is Nergigante from Monster Hunter World. It took me around 2 months to create. This is also Zinogre, also from Monster Hunter, and I absolutely love this costume.
A company actually asked me to create 2 costumes for BlizzCon, and I already had a job back then, but I was not able to do both.
I was working back then in like an advertising agency in my city, and I made good money, you know, so I was like, that's like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity right there, so why not take it? Like, I make enough money that you can like live in my place and I pay for everything. If it doesn't work out, and she would still get money from the commission, so it wasn't such, for me it wasn't such a big deal. For her it was like a life-changing decision.
This costume is actually fully 3D printed, so each single piece was actually designed and sculpted and also 3D printed by Benny, and I made here the leather work and also the fabric work. So it was one of the biggest collaborations I had with Benny, and it was a lot of teamwork.
But I think it was important to like to help her like at least try what she really loves, to make like money from that, because you can always go back to an office job later and do something like normal, but you do not often get the chance to do something really special.
It got these 4 parts as a result.
After I cancelled my job to become self-employed, or more or less self-employed, I basically had no plan what to do after I finished my first 2 commissions. And a friend of mine actually suggested to create a collection of all my tutorials. But I was like, no, I don't have time. And then when I finally finished my first commissions, I had nothing to do. I had no job, I had plenty of time. I came home and then I started writing, and I actually wrote my very first book in 3 days.
I came home from work and she was like, surprise, I just announced on my Facebook that I'm releasing a book in like 3 days and you have to do the layout. And I'm like, what? You know, I was still working back then. So I came home and like, luckily I did some layout in work, so I kind of knew what I was doing. And then I had like 3 days to like mash everything. She like got me all the photos and text into like a printable or like more like a digital version. And I got kind of sick at work and like, you know, it was a crazy week, or a crazy 3 days more like. And we managed it somehow. And I'm still proud of that the book actually looked good for just like having 3 days to do everything.
We put it online for $5 because we didn't really expected anything from that, but apparently people absolutely loved it. Like, it exploded over the internet and people were buying it like crazy, and this totally overwhelmed us. And we thought, okay, I think we can become self-employed with this and keep on doing more of it.
Making costume, making cosplay doesn't really have an average time, because some people are able to make a costume in 1, 2, or 3 days, like really fast costume, and they will still look great, and other people will take months. Because it's a hobby, it will depend on how much free time you can spend on it.
Preparation for the costume took me around good 6 months because of my job. I couldn't always do it every single day, so it took a long time to actually finish it.
It took me about 3 months for the costume itself and 1 month for the gun.
This character is called Rose Court. She's from the show Steven Universe. A friend of mine helped me understand how to make roses out of Warbler, and this took me maybe about 100 hours to do.
Cosplaying is fun, but it's also hard work.
The most difficult part were the feathers, which took me about 1 month in total to make. It was worth it. Definitely worth it.
How much did it cost?
It was around, let's say, 150 euros to 160. The feathers, all the materials are kind of pricey. Cosplayers will know.
Creating a costume can cost from 100 to 1,000 euros. It's definitely not a cheap hobby, but everyone can cosplay. It's just a matter of finding smart solutions.
My routine is to find as many reference pictures as possible. For video games, that could just be playing the video game and just doing a 360 with the camera in the video game just to get as many details for that character that I can.
When you start, you can start very young, so you don't have any money. So you will try to go to the cheapest materials. I mean, when I started cosplay, I didn't want to make a costume that would cost more than 100 euros. So I was always under that. And now I'm using leather, so it can cost quite a lot. And other people are using fancy materials or electronics or stuff. So, I mean, it can cost less than 100 euros or it can cost more than 1,000 euros.
I'm working on a really big project right now. It's Brigitte from Overwatch in a skin from Diablo 3. And it is a custom design by Zach Fisher, who also creates like custom design cosplay artworks.
You know, when she contacted me to work on our first design that we ever did together, I felt like I was on another planet for a while because it was like, is this person really coming to me for a design that they want? Like, how is this happening? This is insane.
Okay. Brigitte from Overwatch is a character you can play in the game. She is a support character. She's basically a shield maiden. She is full in armor. She wears, she has a really huge shield, and she also has a flail. I
mean, we've gotten to know each other pretty well at this point, and I've always been following, you know, everything she's doing. And every time she comes to me with a design, I know it's going to be a challenge because she doesn't do anything halfway. She doesn't do anything easy. So she'll come to me and say, I want this to be absolutely insane with detail. I want lots of spikes, and I want lots of like horns and textures and things that I can create.
So I wanted to create something special, something never ever anybody did before, and I wanted also to combine lights and smoke and also a huge armor with the characters.
We had a long conversation about what exactly she was looking for, and it was interesting because it was a mashup of a lot of different things. She wanted, you know, reference to Monster Hunter, and but she still wanted that kind of exclusive Overwatch look, but she also wanted Diablo folded in there, and those are three very distinctive styles.
So he basically took the style and the look from Diablo and put it on Brigitte and changed her armor, changed her whole appearance, so she looks like more demonic, like more dangerous, and basically she stepped directly out of hell. And that's what I'm doing right now. So I try to incorporate different techniques, light effects, armor and stuff like that to bring her to life and make her really, really cool and spooky. Ja, passt, danke.
So finding a way to blend all of those styles together was quite a challenge. So I spent a lot of time just kind of looking through different examples of different skins within Overwatch, and looking through different armors from Monster Hunter, and then looking through a bunch of different types of armor in Diablo, and trying to find any sort of commonality that I could connect. Things that needed to be there, in other words, to really drive home all three of those styles. And then once I found those things, it was easy enough to kind of just fill in the rest with just noodling around on the tablet and trying different things until something looked right.
Right now I'm doing a fitting test for my Brigitte costume. So I finished here some leg armor, which is also made out of EVA foam. And I'm seeing, and I want to check if actually the shoes and the leg armor and everything fits together. So I want to try on the shoes in combination with my leg armor. Okay, this is the right one. And this is the left one. Okay, fits. Sexy hole. Nein, das geht schon. It's made completely out of simple EVA foam. So you probably know the EVA foam puzzle mats. Here, for example, this is a translucent foam. So once I put LEDs under that, which is actually my
plan. Like the booths will be light up and everything will look super fancy. Also, light is coming here in and everything, and like all the little teeth and like the little mouse will be light up. And this stuff here looks very organic. This is made out of foam clay, which is actually a clay but dries out of foam. So like the material is actually super lightweight and really fun to work with. I'm not done yet, but I think I'm pretty far so far. So I'm really proud of this project and I cannot wait to finish it.
I'm technically a freelance illustrator. Freelance work is a lot of fun. You get to work with a lot of different types of people and a lot of different types of projects, and you get to explore and experiment with a lot of different styles, and that's great. I got BlizzCon coming up, and I've got a call with one of my clients, Anna, and I got to figure out what I'm doing for her design. So, yeah, it's a lot of work, but we'll get there.
So Zach Fisher is a concept artist, illustrator, cosplayer. We'll contact him to make a concept of one of a character, and he will draw it. So the cosplayer will be able to make the costume.
You really aren't. I mean, I can try to look online, but I like to actually look at stuff physically. That's why I have these books. Ah, there we go. That's Syndragosa, but I mean, she was a blue dragon too, so I can pull some elements of this, at least just kind of like the horn structures and stuff like that.
So it's really kind of impressive to see how he's able to make people create all those costumes.
Hello.
Hey, Anna.
There we go. Hi.
There you are. So I sent you the sketch, the rough sketch. All right. So what do you think?
So good. I love it. It totally captures what I was wanting. I'm really loving all the shoulders. It's very wow.
Well, you know me.
Yeah, I really love them.
They all tend to curse my name a lot while they're building things. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I put a lot of detail and little intricate details into my designs that maybe they don't even see at first glance.
I'm loving the details, but
Okay.
maybe some more spikes. Favorite things.
You are a masochist. More spikes?
I know.
All right. Hey, it's your design, and if you want more spikes, you get more spikes. It's that simple.
Good.
All right, I'm glad you're excited. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Even when I was a little kid, I played video games, or I watched my older brothers play video games. But I think I really decided that gaming was what I was going to do for a career back in college when a friend of mine came up to me to ask me about if I had seen World of Warcraft, because I'd always played Warcraft 3 and other Blizzard games, and I said no, I hadn't, and they booted up the opening cinematic, and immediately I was just hooked, and I couldn't shake the feeling of being involved in something like that, and gaming since then has just kind of been a regular part of my life.
I always felt like an outsider when I was small because I never really had friends. I was always alone at school.
I was definitely an outsider when I was younger.
We were nerdy, we were maybe bullied in school, we were lonely when we were young.
If it weren't for cosplay, I'd still be in that bad place, and cosplay pretty much saved my life.
And joining the cosplay community helped me a lot through my childhood. Since I started with like 14, I also got more friends, and the cosplay in general is like a big family. Everyone knows each other. Everyone is like, hey, you're my friend now. If you cosplay a certain character from the same series, from the same game, you immediately just connect with each other.
I find a sense of unity. There's a community to cosplay, and there are people who are supportive of each other and encourage each other.
There were a lot of people that I went to school with that were spending their weekends, watching football or watching baseball, or playing football or playing baseball. And I Instead was, you know, putting together costumes with friends and going out to conventions and watching anime or rewatching some cult classic that we enjoyed. And, you know, we definitely had moments where we got made fun of for that, but ultimately it's worth it because I feel like nowadays that's what everybody's into.
Was mache ich da? Ja. And then when you suddenly enter the cosplay community, you're basically a part of this massive worldwide community which are connected over the internet and become like this really big family, and you're not alone anymore, no matter how weird or geeky you are.
Gamescom is the biggest video games convention in the world. And it's really impressive when you enter. I mean, there is like 10 halls, gigantic halls.
It's like the big scene to show your costume to the audience, to the people, and it's really cool to see the reaction.
Today there will be amazing costumes on stage. We had 180 registrations and there are different kinds of costumes, very, very great costumes, and we are happy to see them. We have a great jury, we have great prizes, and we can't wait to see them on stage presenting their costumes.
When cosplayers go to a convention, you can really see the emotions in their eyes, especially with competition. And before cosplay competition, most people are very, very nervous. It's such a crucial moment for them, and that makes it all the more important to respect their feelings.
So Sarah and I have been together for about almost 2 years, and right now we're here at Gamescom. And so today, it's the perfect opportunity. Our favorite game's here, our favorite cosplayer's here. I'm here, she's here, it's perfect. I'm gonna propose to her. She doesn't know yet, so well, she's gonna know pretty soon. I'm really kind of nervous right now, but I know she's gonna love it, and I can't wait to spend my life with her. And through cosplay, I met my wife.
I am super nervous right now. There's so many great cosplayers, a lot of armor, really great costumes. I am super nervous how it's gonna go. I'm adjusting my ear right now because it popped out of the hood and it makes it go sideways. So I'm just putting the hood right now over it and it's fixed. All right.
Oh.
So right before the contest, my weapon broke. The little wire just came off, but I guess I improvised. I will just hold them like this and you can't even see it. Improvement, improvised. There you go. Thank God the lights work, of course, because that would have been a bummer.
Now we are all going to the stage, and yeah, the show is about to start.
I'm about to go on stage. I am actually shaking, super nervous, and let's hope for the best.
Ist Manaplot als Zarya aus League of Legends. Was war für dich die größte Herausforderung? Die Füße oder das Nähen oder die Flügel? Ich weiß gar nicht, was mein Lieblingsdetail ist.
Auf jeden Fall das Cape. Sehr viel Fleiß, sehr viel Schweiß, aber hat geklappt.
Hat sich, glaube ich, auch gelohnt, oder? Ja?
Ja.
Vielen Dank und viel Erfolg.
How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm glad it's over, but it was really exciting. I'm glad it's over. I'm really glad it's over. I did actually really well. I messed up a little bit with my lights, but in the end, it was really good.
Now I hope everything will be fine. So I hope it turns good.
Ash aus Overwatch. Es ist tatsächlich ein kleiner Bob dabei.
Ja, genau, weil jeder fragt, wo ist Bob? Ich hab ihn dabei.
Aber er macht nicht so viel.
Nein, mein Hut ist nicht geladen.
Ich bin sehr erleichtert, aber wenn ich dich anschaue, kriege ich schon so ein bisschen Flashbacks zu Dingen, die mir vor die Füße fallen und dann explodieren. Spielst du Ash auch?
Ja, zweite Main.
Oh, okay. Deine Hauptmain?
Mercy.
Mercy Sisters? Freut mich sehr. Und den Bob, den muss ich ganz kurz einen kleinen winzigen Fistbump geben. Dankeschön.
Oh, my feet are shaking. So after that, I'm not more nervous than before. Dankeschön. Dankeschön. Ah, das war was. Unglaublich. Dankeschön.
Jetzt unser Schokobit. Darf ich dir die Urkunde überreichen? Oh, bitteschön. Von Cosplay. Richtig. Platz 2. Komm nach vor. Jetzt werden die Schocken nicht mehr so verblödet.
Ja, jetzt nicht mehr. Nur ein bisschen.
Okay. Ja, genau. Also was ganz Kleines haben uns diese Tasche gefühlt, glaube ich, 20 Kilo, 25. Wie fühlst du dich?
Super. Mir hängt zwar die Haare an dem Gesicht, weil ich, darf man Stück wie ein Schwein war.
Ja, darf man.
Ja, aber ansonsten schön. Und der Helmut. Also, Dankeschön.
Beim offiziellen Gamescom 2019 Cosplay Contest, presented by Hydra Forge, geht an eines der größten Cosplays hier, an Technic First.
First place was just amazing. It was this like big costume, which is actually the character from the game I'm from, and I can't even imagine how hot it was in there. It was just phenomenal.
Aber ich glaube, wir sind uns auch alle einig. Das sind großartige Gewinner, deren Arbeit.
The competition was really awesome. It was just to meet all the people who put all that work into their cosplays. Awesome.
That was our third contest at Gamescom and it was great. There were 40 starting numbers, great costumes, very, very good jury, amazing prizes, and I think the decision for the jury was very, very hard because all of the costumes were great and everybody was awesome on stage.
Just being on the big stage and just being in front of the people was exciting itself. Definitely got me motivated to try it again until I finally win. I did not expect it at all, to be honest. Well, then this happened, I'm like, oh my god, like, are you serious? Honestly, in my mind was just like the big, what the hell are you doing? And until I realized, oh, okay, this is happening. My biggest dream was always to be proposed to like on a convention, because cosplay has been always a part of my life.
I can feel my own heartbeat, like I was nervous with her, which is really weird, but we had that connection to where I felt it too. I was shaking when I was going to propose to her. I made sure that was like the perfect moment, and when she said yes, it just all came together, and it was just mind-blowingly amazing, and I can't wait to spend my life with this woman now.
Being with him finally after a long distance, of course, I think that's like the big goal, to close the distance between the two of us.
Cosplay is the most diverse, weird, fun, lovable, kind of all over the place family you could ever imagine.
There are people that make a living through cosplay, and others will fall in love with cosplay as a hobby. But in both cases, cosplay becomes a big part of their lives.
It's important to follow your dreams, but also keep on fighting, keep on trying, and especially accept that it might actually take years until you're self-employed or until you're successful with what you do.